Hi, my dear students. Let's start synopsis of limits, continuity, differentiability, as well as application of derivatives. Limits. So, function f of x is said to have limit L as extending to a if absolute difference mod f of x minus L can be made as small as possible. We write limit extending to a f of x equal to L. Actually, two parts. Limit extending to a plus f of x must be equal to limit extending to a minus f of x. Then we say limit exists. This is right hand limit must be equal to left hand limit. If both the limits are equal, then we say limit exists. So left hand limit and right hand limit, this right hand limit, this left hand limit, both must exist. Then only we say limit exists. And both must be equal to L. Now, so I repeat once again how we solve limit extending to a minus f of x can also be written as limit extending to 0 f of a minus h. Similarly, limit extending to a plus f of x is equal to limit extending to 0 f of a plus h. So while solving problems, you have to do like this. Apply and write the limits. So left hand limit equal to right hand limit. Some standard limits. Limit x to the a, x to the power n minus a to the power n by x minus a is n a to the power n minus 1. Limit theta tending to 0, sin theta is equal to 1. Extending to 0, sin inverse x by x equal to 1. Limit theta tending to 0, tan theta by theta equal to 1. Limit theta tending to 0, tan inverse x by x is also 1. Similarly, I'll add on limit theta tending to 0, sin a theta by tan b theta will give you a by b. So very important to note down. Next one. So limit n tending to infinity 1 plus 1 by n to the power n is equal to e. Limit n tending to 0, 1 plus 1 by n tending to e. Similarly, limit extending to 0, a to the power x minus 1 by x is log base a where a is greater than 0. Limit extending to 0, e to the power x minus 1 by x is equal to 1. Similarly, limit extending to 0, e to the power ax minus 1 by x is equal to a. Similarly, limit n tending to infinity 1 plus a by n to the power 1 by n is e to the power a. Similarly, limit extending to 0, e to the power ax minus e to the power bx by x will give you a minus b. Same process. Next one. So extending to 0, log base a 1 plus x by x is log base a e. If we straight away we write limit extending to 0, log base e x plus 1 by x is equal to 1. So limit extending to infinity 1 plus f of x to the power f of x is e, where f of x is tending to infinity, where x tending to infinity. Here only one more I mention, limit It's very, very important. I'll put a double star. Extending to a, f of x whole to the power g of x is equal to e to the power limit extending to a g of x into f of x minus 1. Under what condition? Under condition f of x is tending to 1, g of x is tending to infinity. We also say 1 to the power infinity form. Whenever it is 1 to the power infinity form, we always f of x is tending to infinity. F of x is tending to 1, g of x is tending to infinity. We say 1 to the power infinity. We write e to the power limit extending to a gx into f of x minus 1. So very important. You might expect this type of problems in the April month. In the month of May. Next one, continuity. A function is said to be continuous if left hand limit equal to right hand limit equal to value of the function. I write once again, limit in a simple words extending to a minus f of x is equal to limit extending to a plus f of x is equal to f of a. So this is left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to value of function. So function is said to be continuous if left hand limit is equal to right hand limit equal to value of the function. Now, same thing, left hand limit equal to right hand limit equal to value of the function. Now, continuous function, as I told you, so wherever x is not equal to 0 is given, you consider the both left and right and same. If separately they are given, this is left hand limit, this is right hand limit, this is the value of the function. A function f of x is said to be continuous in the interval I, open or close, if they are continuous at every point in the interval. So this some standard limits are there. Limit extending to 0, under root of 1 plus x to the power n minus under root of 1 minus x to the power n by x to the power n will give you 1. F is a set of functions defined as all these functions. If fx gx belongs to capital F, the limit extending to 0, f of mx g of nx equal to m by n. Just now I gave an example also. Limit extending to 0, tan bx by sine ax will give you b by a. So limit extending to 0, sine inverse ax by tan inverse bx will give you a by b. Same thing is written here. Now this is not much required. Limit extending to 0, f1 ax plus or minus f2 bx is a plus b, g1 cx plus g2 dx will be c plus d. Same thing. Okay, here one of the most important, limit extending to 0, 1 minus cos ax by x square is very, very important, a square by 2. Here x is there, that's why it is 0. So limit extending to 0, 1 minus cos x by x square is a square by 2. Of course, cos NAX minus cos NBX by F1 CX1 F2 dx is given to you. You can directly apply n into b square minus a square by 2cd. I take an example for you. Limit extending to 0 cos square 2x minus cos square 3x divided by, if it is cos square 2x minus cos square cx is given to you, this can be written as, suppose c is, I take it as 4x square, 4x square I'll take, this is 2x I'll write it into 3x. So this becomes same formula you can apply. N will give you 2 and b is nothing but 3 and a is nothing but 2 and f1 cx and f2 cx is nothing but dx is nothing but 2x and 3x. You can directly apply as I did it here. Same is the formula tan NAX minus tan NBX by fx to the power n plus 2. You can do it by normal method also. If you are not able to remember this formula, you can do directly. This is the most important formula. Limit extending to 0, 1 minus cos x by x square is equal to a square by 2. So differentiation, that much of formulas are important. Some formulas are left over, which we will discuss while doing the problems. Differentiation, simple one, f dash x equal to limit extending to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x by h, basic definition. It is also called by first principle. Fx is continuous function in a comma b, then the derivative or a differential coefficient of f of x, x belongs to open interval a comma b, f denoted by f dash x. F dash x gives you the slope. dy by dx is limit extending to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x equal to h. Provided limit exists in finite. That's why we write left hand derivative is equal to right hand derivative equal to derivative at a point A. This can also be written as limit extending to a minus f dash x equal to limit extending to a plus f dash x is equal to f dash a. Then we say function is differentiable. So left hand derivative equal to right hand derivative equal to derivative of a function. What you do is just simply differentiate function and solve the limit. Then you get left hand limit, right hand limit and limit derivative at that point. Next one, these are all simple formulae. Derivative of x to the power n is nx to the power n minus 1. Derivative of sin x is cos x. Derivative of cos x is minus sin x. Derivative of tan x is secant square x. Cot x is minus cosecant square x. Derivative of root x is 1 by 2 root x. Derivative of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. So one more formula, I'll write it here you for your limit which was left. Limit extending to 0, greatest integer of ax plus b by x is equal to a. So most important part is greatest integer is always lies between x minus 1 and equal to x. Similarly, limit extending to infinity, greatest integer of x by x will give you 1. Next one, derivative of secant x is secant x tan x, derivative of cosecant x is minus cosecant x cot x, derivative of e to the power x e to the power x, derivative of a to the power x is a to the power x log base c a, derivative log x is 1 by x. So d by dx of e to the power ax will give you a e to the power ax. Next one, rule of differentiation, derivative constant is 0. So whenever constant is multiplied, constant will come out, like d by dx of kx cube can also be written as k out d by dx of x cube, which will give you k into 3x square. Sum of two functions you can find separately. Differentiation, like d by dx of sin x plus log x is given to you. We write d by dx of sin x plus d by dx of log x. Simple concept. Answer will be cos x plus 1 by x. Answer will be cos x plus 1 by x. So differentiation of product, first function into derivative of second function. This is second function. Derivative of first function into second function. Quotient rule, differentiation of numerator into denominator minus differentiation of denominator numerator by denominator square. So you can write this also, denominator into derivative of numerator function minus numerator into derivative of denominator function by denominator function square. Next, derivative of sin inverse x is 1 by under root of 1 minus x square. These formulas are very important because inverse will be the integration. So integration of dx by root 1 minus x square is sin inverse x. So derivative of tan inverse x is 1 by 1 plus x square. Derivative of secant inverse x is 1 by x into under root of x square minus 1. Actually it is modulus because slope is always positive. Derivative of cos inverse x is minus 1 by under root of 1 minus x square. Derivative of cosecant inverse x is minus 1 by mod x into under root of x square minus 1. Cot inverse x is minus 1 by 1 plus x square. So derivative of some inverse trigonometric functions can be obtained by using trigonometric substitutions. Next one, chain rule. Obviously, whenever I'll take an example, y equal to ax plus b whole cube you have to write. We write y is equal to t cube and t equal to ax plus b, then we find dy by dx is equal to dy by dt into dt by dx. So dy by dt will give you 3t square and dt by dx will give you a. Then you write the t value. T value is ax plus b whole square into a. This is called chain rule. So dy by dx can be written as dy by du into du by dx. It's called chain rule. Simple one, already you know chain rule. Next one, differentiation of implicit function and explicit function. This is y equal to x square is explicit function. Implicit means xy square plus sine xy is equal to 0. You can't write y in terms of x. This is called implicit. This is called implicit function. This is explicit, this is implicit function. If a variable x and y are connected by the relation y f of x and it is not possible or not convenient to express y as a function of x, then in a form of y is equal to f of x, then it is called implicit function. I gave an example. This is explicit function. If a variable y is directly expressed in terms of another variable x and y, then it is called explicit function. When you can't represent, then it is called implicit function. Parametric form, x is also given in f of t, y is g of t, it's a parametric differentiation. For example, x equal to a sin t, y equal to a cos t is given to you. So dy by dx is nothing but dy by dt by dx by dt. So this will give you a cos t divided by minus a sin t. Next one, differentiation of one function with respect to another function. Take an example, differentiate log x with respect to sine inverse x. What they want is y equal to log x and t equal to sine inverse x. They are asking dy by dt. dy by dt is dy by dx into dx by dt. In our case, derivative log x is 1 by x and you get dt by dx is 1 by under root of 1 minus x square. So dx by dt will be under root of 1 minus x square. So dy by dx into dx by dt. Differentiation of one function with respect to another function. They are asking dy by dt. So which is equal to dy by dx into dx by dt. Logarithmic differentiation, you have to take log both. For example, it is given sin x to the power x cube is given equal to y. We take log both sides. Log y is equal to x cube log sin x. After that, we will find dy by dx. Then we will find differentiating with respect to y, we get 1 by dy by dx is equal to 3x square log sin x plus x cube into derivative log sin x is this 1 by sin x. Derivative sin x is cos x. This is called logarithmic differentiation. Taking log both sides and differentiating with respect to x. Here we use the product rule. Next one, successive differentiation. So t2y by dx square can be written as d by dx of dy by dx is called d2y by dx square. So differentiating a function 2 times. Suppose you want d3y by dx cube is equal to d by dx of d2y by dx square. But what is d2y by dx square? D by dx of dy by dx. It is called successive differentiation. Next one, f of x by y is k into f of y by x is equal to k, where k is a constant. Dy by dx is always y by x. A very handy formula. Please remember this. Suppose I take an example, x cube y cube by is equal to k. So dy by dx will always be minus y by x. It is minus sign will come. In this case, it will be minus x by y, because this gives you 3x square plus 3y square dy by dx. So in this case, it is dy by dx will give you minus x square by y square. What they are talking is x cube plus y cube by x cube minus y cube. Is equal to k. So f of x plus y is f of x into f of y. F of a is equal to k, then f dash 0 exists, and f dash a is equal to k into f dash 0. Simple one. A polynomial, it's very important. Fx into f of 1 by x. Fx into f of 1 by x, there's some mistake is there, is equal to fx into f of 1 by x is equal to fx plus f1 by x. This is the error. Just equal to sign here. Fx into f1 by x equal to fx into f1 by x, then fx equal to x to the power n plus 1 or x to the power minus n. Here fx into f1 by x is equal to fx plus f1 by x. There's an error. So fx will be x to the power n plus 1, or can be fx equal to minus x to the power n plus 1. So application of derivatives. So here tangent normal equation, we know y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. What is m actually? M is dy by dx at x1 y1. This is equation of a tangent. Guarantee one problem comes in equation tangent and normal in JEE Mains as well as CET. So this is equation of a tangent. Y minus y1 equal to dy by dx x1 y1 x minus x1. This is the equation of a tangent. So this is the curve at any point. This is the tangent. This is angle theta. So tan theta equal to dy by dx. What is this point? x1, y1. Next one, if the slope of a normal will be obviously m1, m2 equal to -1. Equation of normal will be y minus y1 minus times of dx by dy into x minus x1. So angle between the two curves, you have to apply tan theta is equal to m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2. So what is m1? Derivative of first curve dy by dx at x1 y1, and m2 is for the first function y1 and the function y2 dy to dx at x1 y1. So tan theta is equal to m1 minus m2 upon. When they say orthogonal, when m1 plus m2 is equal to -1. Then we say two curves intersect orthogonally. It is orthogonally. Next one, so same formula. Mod we always take acute angle, tan inverse m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2. Angle between the two curves. Suppose this is a curve, this is another curve. I draw a tangent here, I draw a tangent here. This is the angle between them. If theta is equal to 90 degrees, then we say two curves cut orthogonally. Two curves cut orthogonally. Next one, application of derivatives. Already we discussed orthogonality of two curves. Theta equal to, then we say two curves said to be touch each other like this. The common tangent, they touch each other. Then theta will be 0 degrees. Orthogonality means this is tangent, this angle equal to 90 degrees. So it is very, very important, subtangent, subnormal. I draw a graph, this x-axis, y-axis, this line is given to you, this is the point, you drop a perpendicular, this is perpendicular, suppose this is M and this is T, this point, and this is normal N. So PT is called length of tangent, PN is called say length of normal, and TM is the subtangent, and this is subnormal. So a segment TS is called the subtangent and SN is called the subnormal y equal to f of x, where theta is the angle between them. Here I have taken as TM, subtangent and subnormal. So PT is the length of tangent and PN is the length of normal. This is 90 degrees. So let us derive the formulae. So they gave, I have overwritten it, this one. So this is the PS perpendicular. So this will give you subtangent and subnormal. So length of tangent on x-axis, this is y by y1. Length of tangent intercepted x-axis is there. This is a subtangent y1 by m and subnormal is y1m. M is dy by dx. So actually this is mod y1 by m. I write once again here y1 by m under root of 1 plus m square. Y1 they have represented as m here. So this is length of tangent. So y1 by m into under root of 1 plus m square. This is length of tangent. Length of normal is nothing but mod y1 into under root of 1 plus m square. Instead of m, they wrote y1. So very important. So y1 by m into under root of 1 plus m square, easy to remember. Mod y1 into under root of 1 plus m square is also modulus because length is always positive. Length of tangent, length of normal. This is subtangent y1 by m and subnormal is y1m. It's very important for your differential equation chapter especially. So there treated y1 as dy by dx. Maxima minima, a necessary condition for maxima minima is at x equal to a is f dash a is equal to 0. Suppose I draw like this f dash a equal to 0, f dash a equal to 0. This is a point and this is p point. These are called local maxima and local minima. In this interval, this is local maxima and local minima. F double dash x a will be less than 0 for maxima, f double dash a is less than 0 for minimum. Suppose we take this one, so this is called absolute minima and this is absolute maxima. This is absolute minima, minima, and this is absolute maxima. Now very important point. Suppose I draw a graph like this. So this can be minimum, this can be maximum. Not necessary when interval is given, you get maxima minima here only. This can be absolute minima, this can be absolute maxima. These are all local maxima, these are all local minimas. I repeat once again, this is absolute minima, absolute maxima. These are local maximas, local LM, local maxima. This is local minima, local minima. So increasing the function, it's also very important. Function is said to be increasing when f dash x is greater than 0 in a given interval a comma b, then we say function is increasing. F dash x is less than 0 in a given interval a comma b, then we say f of x is decreasing function in the given interval. Increasing function in the given interval. Now area of a square is x square, perimeter is 4x, you all know. Area of rectangle is xy, perimeter is 2x plus y. Area of trapezium is half, sum of parallel sides into distance between them. Area of a circle is pi r square, perimeter is 2 pi r. Volume of a sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube and surface area is 4 pi r square. Please write down This will again useful in maxima minima chapter. Volume of right circular cone is 1 by 3 pi r square h. Total surface area is pi r square plus pi r l. This is the cone. This is the cone. And this is the height h. And this is called lateral surface area. This is r. This is also called a semi-vertical angle. Semi-vertical angle. So the volume of a cone is 1 by 3 pi r square h. Total surface area is pi r square and pi r l. Volume of cylinder is pi r square h. Total surface area is 2 pi r r plus h, where the curved surface area is 2 pi r h. This is a cylinder. So this is radius r. This is height h. Volume of a cuboid is xyz. Surface area is 2 times of xy plus yz plus zx. These are useful in application of derivatives. Next one, time saving result. Tangent will be parallel to x-axis. D of dy by dx equal to 0, you know. Perpendicular means with x-axis df by dy is equal to 0. Of all rectangles of a given perimeter P, the square has the largest area of length P by 4. A cone of maximum volume that can be inscribed in a sphere, radius r is 4r by 3. Very important. This is a sphere is given to you. This is cone is given to you. So maximum radius of a cone, volume, cone of a maximum volume that can be inscribed in a given sphere of radius r, the height will be 4r by 3. So height of the cone will be 4r by 3. It's a very important result. Next one, a right circular cylinder that can be inscribed in a sphere. Cylinder is inscribed in a sphere. So also a very, very important result. This is a sphere. This is the capital R or small r they have taken. So right circular cylinder that can be inscribed in a sphere of radius r is 2r by root 3. Very important result. So once you know the height of a cylinder, you can find the volume also. Volume is pi r square h. You can find radius also. Once you know the height you know, then you can find the radius of a cylinder also. This will be r by root 3. Obviously this is r. You can find this also. So r square minus r square by 3 will give you 2 by 3 r square, or you can say under root of 2 by 3 r is equal to radius of a cone. Radius of a cylinder. So very important result, 2r by root 3. If you remember, you will save a lot of time. So it is your wish. If you remember, x square minus bx plus c by x square plus bx plus c, b and c positive, attains maximum at x equal to root c, minimum at x equal to root c, and maximum at x equal to minus root c. If you remember the result, well and good. The minimum and maximum values are f of root c and f of minus root c. If you remember, well and good. Suppose I give any question, x square minus 7x plus 8 divided by x square plus 7x plus 8 is equal to y. So you will get maxima minima at x is equal to minima. You get x equal to root 8. This is minima. Maxima you get x equal to minus root 8. We can derive, but it's very handy if you remember result. Next one, f of x equal to a to the power x plus b to the power minus x. ab is positive, has minimum value root 2 ab, and the maxima minima of a cos x plus b sin x is root a square plus b square minus root a square. In trigonometric equations also we use this one. When a is greater than b, the maximum minimum value of a sin square x plus b cos square x are a and b respectively. A will give you maxima and b will give you minima. Next one, area of isosceles triangle that will be maximum when it is right angle triangle. Area of isosceles triangle will be maximum when it is right angle triangle. Function x square plus bx plus c attains maxima minima, same synopsis what we studied. Here reverse x plus bx plus c by x square minus bx plus c attain maxima at x equal to c, minima at x equal to minus root c. Same thing, if it is reciprocal, maximum will be at x equal to minus root c, minima will be here. Almost all synopses are covered. If one or two synopses are left, when we do problems,